We're the travel agents coming to you with tips, tricks, interviews, and voyages by cruise. The travel agents bringing you the latest travel news.
Hey, I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
We're your hosts for the Travel Agents Podcast.
Yeah, and we got an interesting one today.
How can you get cheap airfare?
Man, it's hard. It's a...
if there was one easy answer, we would know it.
Yeah, it's not a science.
No.
There's no methodology to it. But we have some skills and some tips that we've developed as travel agents that are going to help you find those cheaper airline tickets.
Here's where I want to start. I have a whole bunch of things to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Like you saw my list. It's hang in there, everyone. I have a lot to say. Some things that might make you excited, some things that might frustrate you. But I want to start with this fun kind of aspect. So, Will, I want to do a little demonstration. I want you first to pick a city you're going to travel to, anywhere in the world. Pick something far away from Ohio.
Oslo, Norway.
Sweet. Okay. Next, I want you to pick a time of the year, any time that you want to go.
Let's say May.
Fantastic. Next, I want you to choose a price that you would like to spend on that ticket.
I'm thinking 800 with checked baggage and everything is probably a
Sounds
realistic
great.
price.
That is nice. Here's the point of the exercise. We all want to go somewhere. We have dates we want to go, and we have a price we'd like to spend. One of the best things I actually learned it from one of my clients early on in my gig, is that usually you can get two of the three.
Okay.
But it's almost impossible to get all three. That's always the goal.
Sure.
You want to go where, when, and for the price you want. But you can get two. And here's some examples. So like, let's say you really want to go to Japan and you want a great deal. We can make that happen. But you got to go in February when it's freezing, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some epic fares to Tokyo in like February, and it's cold.
Going to the Caribbean during hurricane season, those are some sweet flight prices.
Exactly. Let's say you want to go to Japan in June or July, right? We can make that happen as well, but the price is going to be like 2 to 3 times the price of the off season, right? And so another example would be like, hey, you want to travel somewhere in September and you want a great deal. I'm sure we can find you an amazing deal in September, but who knows where you're going to? Maybe it's to Dallas and you've already been there, or you wanted to go elsewhere, right? Like, so that's kind of it. You can get 2 of the 3. How do you get all 3? And the answer is you can't. So if you're looking for that answer, I guess what I'm getting at, and this is kind of the point I want to start with for this whole episode.
Yeah, build that foundation.
Yeah, the foundation I want to build for this episode is the people who find the best airfare deals are, drumroll, no, the ones who have the most flexibility when they travel. They can leave on a Monday night. They can come home on a Wednesday, right? Something like that. I'm just giving I'm not saying that those are the dates. I'm just giving random examples. As far as when they want to go, it doesn't matter. They can go in hurricane season. They can go in early December. They can do anything, right? Like they're totally fine. And then number 3, they don't care like where they go. They're just like, I just want a trip. I want to travel the world. I'm super open.
Sure.
Just give me a great deal, and chances are I'd like to go there. And then lastly, they're able to pull the trigger fast. And that one I can't explain enough. Like there are amazing deals, and it might be there for 20 minutes. So you need to know that or if you have a traveling partner, like you two can purchase non-refundable tickets at the drop of a hat because you saw a great deal.
You're ready to go.
There's not going to be an issue with a dog sitter or a babysitter or like, that's funny how I said dog version. That's terrible. But yeah, like there's not gonna be an issue with work, right?
Yeah.
And so like I give a shout out to my cool Romanian friends. I call my Romanian friends in Cleveland. They go to secretflying.com. And I'll say it again, secretflying.com. And they're also game to travel to New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, just to catch that flight, right? Like they don't mind taking a bus or like driving there. just because there are some epic deals there to just some random places around the world. And they're just like, yeah, that sounds great. We'll just take it. Oh, but when can you go? It doesn't matter. They're both retired. They can go anytime, right? And then it's like, yeah, but can you decide quickly? Like, yes, they can both decide in 5 minutes if that trip can work for them. And so if you were to talk to them, you'd be very, very jealous of the deals they've gotten over the past decade. You would be extremely jealous. But you have to understand the parameters are so flexible, right?
Sure. Yeah.
That they can make it happen. Those without flexibility, I'm sorry, don't get great deals. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah. I mean, hey, they're cheap deals for a reason, right?
There are these things called mistake fares that, again, my two friends up in Cleveland, they found where like an airline left off a zero when they were publishing the price. And so they've gotten dirt cheap, like business class deals to Asia. I know it's when I heard the numbers they've spent, like we're talking, they've spent hundreds of dollars going first class to Asia. Hundreds.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. Where they had lie flat beds because it was a mistake fare. Now, it's something like the airlines, I don't quite know the rules, but something they have like 72 hours after you purchase it to decide, are we going to honor this mistake fare or not?
Sure. Yeah.
In my friends' cases, it worked every time. But I think for some, they're like, no, this was a mistake. We're taking it back. Here's your money back.
Sure.
You know, like that. So interesting. So I guess my next point is like, and I know I'm not trying to like be a broken record, but like if you're tied down to like a strict job or you have kids in school, like the airlines kind of know, like you can only fly on weekends or you can only fly during spring break or June, July, August or Christmas break. The airlines know that. There's a job called airline revenue manager and they get paid great money. And they are trained to look for events, conferences, spring breaks, holidays, and around the world, and they plug that into the system.
Okay.
Because every airline tries to get as much cash as they can, right?
Sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And so if the, shout out to Rotary, if the Rotary convention is in Houston last year like it was, actually it was there in June, guess what? The dates of the flights to Houston from Cleveland were cheap all year long. And then the dates of the Rotary convention, how come they went up twice as much money? Well, duh. It's because the airline revenue managers are paid to research this stuff, right?
Oh my gosh.
So that, in case you're curious, hey, how come the price to where's the World Cup this year?
Qatar.
So how come the dates of the World Cup, the price of the Qatar is so expensive? Well, of course, it's just how it works. So I guess what I'm getting at is when people ask me, hey, all year flights to Orlando are $80 round trip. How come in late April they're $700? Well, yeah, it's because it's spring break. And you're a family and you're going to Orlando. That's just what happens, right? Yeah. But the worst is, and I feel so bad. My heart goes out to these poor families, but they call me Brian, we're ready to do a trip. I say, great. What are your dates? And they go, are you ready for this? December 26th through January 2nd. And my heart just sinks for them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to pay 4 times what they should pay.
Oh, no.
And they're like, yeah, but it's always the same story. It's the only week we can travel. It's I know.
Oh, man.
And the airlines know it too.
Yeah, of course. They're going to take advantage of that.
It's just it. Next tip, I don't know, try not to fly home Sunday nights because every business traveler has to fly home Sunday night, and the airlines know it, right? Yep. Everyone's just like you. Try to get your boss to let you work remote on Monday and then fly home Monday night or Tuesday morning or something.
Yeah.
Shout out to my dad, who's my boss. No, I'm the boss. We're the boss. Go to Google Flights. For those who don't use Google Flights, start using it and you're not going to go back to your other search engines.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you like about it?
Well, there's this thing called Price Graph and Date Grid.
Okay.
And you click on it and it gives you this beautiful grid it shows you hey, if you change your dates by 2 days, you can drop the price by 80%. You know what I'm saying? It's just insane, the deals. But just a quick tip there is make sure in the next tab, you're also going to southwest.com because Southwest doesn't show their flights on any other consolidators or in the whole industry. Southwest keeps their fares low by only being available on southwest.com, not paying anyone else commission, right? Mm-hmm. So have Google Flights open in one tab, have southwest.com open in the other.
Now, with Southwest, can you fly only domestic or do they fly international?
They fly to some of the international destinations like in Mexico as well as the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And they started flying to Hawaii 1 or 2 years ago. So it's pretty cool. With Southwest, you get 2 free checked bags per person, plus a free carry-on and a free personal item and never any change fees. Yay. Okay. How many times have I heard this in the 11 years? Hey,
So
Brian,
popular.
should I book on a Tuesday? I heard that Tuesdays are the cheapest days to book flights. Is that true? Okay, let me just say this. How come people who don't travel often are the ones to say that?
Yeah.
And the travel professionals who look at it every day, you never hear them say that.
No.
So it's just, I guess
Yeah,
I'm I'm not trying to be rude. If maybe someone did find a great deal on a Tuesday,
Sure.
but then why have I found great deals on Sundays?
Absolutely.
Why have I found great deals on Fridays?
Mondays? Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can find great deals any day.
I admit there's maybe a great deal on Tuesday that's happened many times, right? But I guess just to kind of rest my case and do a little mic drop here, in the hundreds of travel professionals I've talked to in my career, I've never heard one say, oh yeah, wait till the Tuesday for the cheapest price. There's my little mic drop and I'll get off that tangent. Sorry if I crushed anyone's like myth or dream. I'm sorry. Like, hang in there. You're doing your best.
But we got a little tip. Another one.
Yeah, we got more tips. Okay. Try to package your flights together with a hotel, right? This is a trick travel agents know, but not many consumers. Here's why. Travel industries want as much of your booking as possible. They don't just want it. Even me as a travel agent, people come in and they just want a flight ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a little just flat out, super transparent truth. I don't want to help you with just a flight ticket. I want to book your hotel.
Yeah.
I want to book your tours. I want to sell you travel insurance. I want to sell you transfers and a rental car. These are all things that make me money, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you come in and just want one thing and one thing only, and you're going to take up my time just to do that,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but
We're going to have to charge you a fee.
exactly, because it's like, man, I need to make money. I need to actually sell you something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just like any industry. We're not hiding behind some curtain here.
So how can an average consumer package a hotel and a flight into one package?
Contact your travel agent. No, but you'll see many. Okay, it's no secret. If you go to some of these big name OTAs, online travel agencies, Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity, Booking, all that kind of stuff,
Apple Vacations.
there's going to be options to book a package,
Mm-hmm.
flights plus hotel together. And by doing that, you often, not always, but you can often get a special deal.
Definitely.
But there have been some deals we've seen that are nuts. Let me just give you an example. I was working with a guy who wanted to go to Lisbon. He said, Brian, I've been looking around on Google and the airline's website, and the tickets to Lisbon are like $1,500 a piece round trip from Cleveland, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's total for he and his wife. It was $3,000. I said, well, I'm able to help you package together flights plus a hotel. There's a minimum 2, 3, 4, 5 nights. It depends on the package. But in this case, he wanted 2 nights in Lisbon. I said, okay, here's a package where you can book flights plus 2 nights hotel in Lisbon. I quoted the Intercontinental in downtown Lisbon. It's a beautiful hotel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The package for I'm not kidding here. You're going to be jaw dropped. Remember, it was $3,000 just for him to book flights round trip, right?
Yeah.
For 2 flights round trip plus 2 nights in the Intercontinental in Lisbon was $2,600.
Oh, jeez.
So if you're
That's
doing the
crazy.
math, he saved $400 and he got 2 nights free hotel. Does that make
At a
sense?
5-star hotel.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's a beautiful hotel.
Beautiful hotel.
That was like an executive room with breakfast too.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just saying, please don't, if you're listening, please don't think, oh, every time you package, you'll always get that. I'm just saying we've seen deals that are epic. It's at least worth looking into.
Yep.
That's generally speaking, though, the better the deal, the longer the flight is away. It's like flights to Europe, flights to Asia. You can get a nice package. If you're just going to Little Rock, Arkansas, there's not much padding on those flights.
Yeah.
If you try to package it, don't get excited.
What if they're not interested in a hotel, but they want to get a rental car? Can they package a rental car in with a flight in hopes of getting a discount on a rental car and a flight.
Are you a travel agent or something? That was good, Will. Yes, have seen there are some, your travel agent will probably know, there are some companies out there that do a flight plus car package. So I'm not trying to give away all the secret travel agent tips. I'm just saying, doesn't this make common sense?
Yeah, definitely.
If I go to my insurance broker and say, hey, I want car insurance.
Business insurance, home insurance.
That's what they always want to sell you.
Yeah.
Your travel agent's the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's sell you a couple things and so we can get the price down of your flights. Okay. Next, I love this one. And I've heard this. And I'm pleased. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad here. I'm just trying to share what I've learned by doing this every day for the past 11 years. Okay. Should I clear my cookies to get a better rate? I'm pretty sure, Brian, I was looking at one moment and then I went back and then the price went up. I think they know that I'm watching. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Let me take a deep breath and see if I can help you understand why that's happening. Because I don't, again, if you talk to the professionals, none of us clear our cookies. Here's what's going on. Airlines do this thing called tier pricing. Have you ever bought a ticket and you get this thing called the class of service? No, unless you're a travel agent, no one knows what that means. No one cares what it means.
Yeah.
But to a travel agent, that class of service, it's a letter. It means a lot. Let me give you an example. I'm going to start with Delta Airlines as an example, okay? So if you're looking for Delta's going to sell, all right, I want to say this right, and some travel agents are going to cringe here, but just hang in there. Delta's going to sell 9 tickets at the least expensive price. For Delta, the class is called V. That's a V like Victor, okay? After they sell those 9 tickets, it jumps up to the next tier. This is called tiered pricing, okay? And that next tier, I believe, is called L for Lima. They're going to sell, guess what? 9 tickets at that price, okay? 9 is a key number here because 10, you qualify for group airfare, which is, we need to do group airfare, could be a different podcast. Actually, I don't want to talk about group airfare because it's a discount, not discount. It's annoying. After they sell, okay, I'll wrap this up. After they sell 9 tickets in L class, they jump up to S for Sierra, right? So you get the picture. Okay, so check it out. Have you ever been shopping online for flights and it says only 2 tickets left at this price? It's because they're getting to the bottom of that tier. It's true.
Yeah.
There's 2 seats in L class left. Once those are sold, it jumps up to S. Then, all the rest, H and M and Y. Y is the highest class, Y like yellow. And that's always business travelers buy that because they're booking a ticket within 3 days of travel. And it's like $1,000 for a flight from Cleveland to Chicago. And they're like, oh, the company's paying. And you book them a Y class ticket because it's the only thing available 3 days before, right? So what I'm getting at is this. When you are, okay, let's say you're at you're at Target, okay? And you want to give me an item at Target that you might want to buy.
Eggs.
Cool. So there's only 1 carton of eggs left on the shelf and you grab it and you're at the okay, this is really important. You catch this, okay? You're at the checkout register and the person's about to scan it and you say, actually, I don't want the eggs. So you didn't buy them. But where do those eggs go? They're not going right back to the shelf immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're probably going to go to like the front.
Yeah.
The people who do returns are, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then maybe eggs wasn't the best example. Bed sheets, maybe. Because I don't know. Do they put eggs back on the shelf? Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's say, but it was good. It might take 20 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 5 hours for those eggs to go back on the shelf. So anyone who's shopping in the next 1 to 5 hours is going to think there's no eggs left, right?
Yeah.
Little do they know, those eggs will go back on the shelf. Here's my point. The same thing happens with flight inventory. I do it every day. I pull tickets out of inventory. Let's say there's 2 seats in L. Let's say V, the desired Delta one that everyone wants. Actually, I think X, like X-ray class, is cheaper than V, but it's never available. They don't offer. Like, here's the crazy thing. Yes, there's tiered pricing, but at any given time, these airlines could choose to add more to any of those. That's why airlines are, it's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You could be all the way up to M. That's one of the highest, M like Mary, right? And then the airline could say, let's add 6 more tickets in V class. Like, they can do that because who cares? They're an airline.
Yeah,
they don't
can
care.
do whatever.
Sorry, I get kind of heated when I talk about this. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Okay, I will be looking at flights for someone, and I will grab, let's say there's 2 seats left in V like Victor class. I'll grab them and put them into my itinerary, right? I've taken them out of inventory. I took the eggs off the shelf, and I'm allowed to hold it. As a travel agent, I can hold it. And it's like when you go to delta.com and you click on a flight and it goes into your shopping cart, the top right, you have your shopping cart.
Yep.
And it thinks you're going to buy them.
Yep.
It took those seats out of inventory. I promise I'm wrapping this up. I'm so sorry. It took the seats out of inventory, but you haven't bought them yet. But
Yep.
no one else is allowed to take them yet.
Yep.
And let's say you click X on that tab. Let's say I release the tickets from my travel agent software.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take for those 2 seats in V class to go back into the Delta inventory?
Right.
The answer is sometimes 60 seconds, sometimes 4 hours. Nobody knows. And it's exceedingly frustrating.
Yep.
So when people say, why is it that I'm looking at flights? I'm like, did you click on them? They're like, well, of course. I'm like, yeah, keep going. They're like, yeah. And then when I went back, not only 5 minutes later, they were gone. And for me, it's exceedingly obvious why that happened.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
people
because you know the
think-
back end and what's going on.
People think the
Yeah.
airlines are playing tricks on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that's clear.
I think you did a great job.
So when should I book? When to book, Brian, for the cheapest flights? I don't know. That's what I usually say. But here's some things I've seen. Airline schedules come out 330 days in advance. That's 11 months in advance, okay? That's not true for Southwest or Frontier or Spirit or I think Allegiant, but I'm just going to say the legacy carriers, the big name carriers, the national brands, they come out 11 months in advance. If you notice, no airline is really looking to sell their inventory 11 months in advance. They're not in like a hurry. Quick, we got to sell this inventory, right? So usually 11 months out, like the moment the flights become available, I don't see the best deals. I've seen, and I've also seen bloggers and airline revenue managers talk about this in blogs, approximately 4 to 9 months in advance for international tickets and 2 to 5 months in advance for like domestic tickets. Domestic meaning just like flights around the United States for the best prices.
Yeah.
But I even cringe saying that because I've seen an amazing deal 1 month out. I've seen an amazing deal 11 months out. So explain that. I don't know. Remember how I said airlines can randomly add in a seat at V like Victor class, right?
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. So, wow, this has been tough, right?
Yeah, but another thing you could do is include 2 one-way tickets. You don't necessarily have to confine yourself to a round trip ticket.
I love that. And that's a little trick we've been doing because not for international, but for domestic. Let's say I want to fly from Cleveland. Notice I say Cleveland a lot. Let's say I want to fly from Cleveland to Denver. And I start looking. I'm going to see options on United, Southwest, and Frontier. Those are my 3 nonstops from Cleveland to Denver. I might not like the price of any of those.
Yeah.
So what I do is I start searching one-ways because what we're seeing over the past 5 years is airlines not giving you discounts for round-trip fares in the U.S. I'm just talking about domestic flights. I don't have any issue booking someone a one-way flight there on one airline and then a one-way flight home on a different airline.
Sure. Yeah. Save some money.
Yeah, if there's a great deal, because there's a chance that they have just going to go back to that. Maybe United Airlines has one seat left in V class on the outbound, but on the return, Southwest has it, right? So you're kind of getting how that works. That's not the case with international flights over the water. You almost always get a better deal by booking a round trip ticket if you're going international. Rarely ever have I seen good deals on one-way tickets across the ocean.
Sure.
Next, I recommend signing up for Airfare Watchdog. It's a pretty cool site. It's called airfarewatchdog.com. You type in where you want to go and approximately when you want to go, and they send you alerts if the price drops.
Nice.
Google Flights also does this.
Yeah, there's quite a few options out there, but we recommend Airfare Watchdog.
There's also Scott's Cheap Flights. The problem with Scott's Cheap Flights is it's a subscription, which I totally get. I don't blame them. I've heard Scott speak on a podcast. He was brilliant. Probably like one of my most favorite like podcasts I've ever listened to. I'll have to send it to you, by the way. I think you'll enjoy it, Will. But like one thing he like, and so if you're willing to pay, what is it, $15-20 a month for this? I mean, heck, the amount of savings he can get, like their website can get you. I mean, if you're going to save a few $100 a year, it's well worth the. I mean, if you save $1,000 a year, it's well worth the subscription of whatever he charges and his team to do that. So, okay, Scott, I think I'm rounding home base here. I want to say
2 more. I think.
Yeah, and I'll start with this one with like. You're probably going to get carried away by the flight price for the lowball budget airlines, Spirit, Frontier, and Allegiant. I'm not against these carriers. I'm a huge fan of any airline that's going to come in and support my local Akron and Cleveland airports, right? I'm a fan of those. I just say, because I get so many complaints about them.
Yeah.
But here's what I found. When I educate my clients on these airlines, they have less complaints. I tell them, listen, I know that you found a flight from Cleveland to Miami for $60 round trip. That's fantastic. I just want you to understand something. The airline's not making money on that ticket. That's how they lure you in. The checked suitcase round trip is going to be $90. The carry-on bag round trip is going to be $100. If you want a boarding pass printed at the airport, that's $10. You do it on your app, it's free. Your carry-on's free. If you want to pick your aisle seat or your window seat ahead of time, that usually starts at $19 each way per person. If you're game with just getting a free seat on the day of travel, understanding you might get a middle seat in the back of the plane, no problem. You can save money there. Also, they don't have as many aircrafts at our home airports. So if your flight's canceled or the crew doesn't show up, they don't have another option to quickly get you on another plane. They might not be able to get you out until the next day or even 2 days later.
Yep.
Are you willing to take that risk? And also, when they come around with the beverage and snack cart, I think it's $2 or $4 for like a Coke and a pack of pretzels.
Yep.
And people get so frustrated and angry. And I just tell them, like, they say, don't you get angry? I'm like, no, because they made it very clear this is their business model.
Yep.
We sell super cheap tickets and we make all of our money on the extras.
Yeah.
There you go.
Makes perfect sense.
Sure. Okay, I think I'm down to one last one.
Last but not least, take us home, Brian.
This one's a little risky. But if you're flying to an obscure city, you can check out, like, let's say you want to go to some obscure city in India. Mm-hmm. All right. Check out just flying into the big city in India, right? Like, let's say I'm in Cleveland and I want to fly to, oh, shoot, I thought I was going to have a good example.
I think I got a good example. I just came across this recently. I have a client that wants to go to Lucerne, Switzerland.
Okay.
A much smaller airport. I think the only way you can get to it is actually by helicopter. I could be wrong there. Zurich, a much more populous city and much more major of a city in Switzerland, is 45 minutes north by car.
Love it. I love the example. The only flaw with the example is there's no Lucerne airport. Oh, there's like a helicopter airport. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. Okay, so thank you. What you're getting at is maybe fly into the big airport and then book a separate ticket from that big airport to the little airport, right?
Yeah.
So going back to India, you have the big airlines that all fly into Delhi, right? So if you fly to Delhi, but then you want to go to a small town in
Bangalore
India,
or something?
like
I don't know.
there's one called Jolly Roger Airport, Jolly Grant Airport. Yeah, it services Uttarakhand, India. Okay, here's what I'm trying to get: finding flights from Cleveland to Jolly Grant Airport in Dehradun, India, is going to be so expensive.
Sure. Yeah.
Because the airlines that fly from Cleveland to India don't partner with the airlines that fly from Delhi to Dehradun. So my tip is book a ticket from Cleveland to Delhi.
Yeah.
Then go back to Google Flights and book a separate ticket on a cheap airline from Delhi to Dehradun,
Yeah.
and watch you save an insane amount of money.
So book those international flights. Then once
Uh-huh.
you're in the country,
Yeah.
book the domestic flight to get you to that smaller airport.
You nailed it. There is some risks. Number one, your luggage will be lost. The luggage will be a
man.
pain.
Yeah.
And then if your first flight's delayed or canceled and you get there late, you miss the
no
second airline
protection.
doesn't protect you. You got it. Exactly.
Because there's no partnership.
No. So what I would say is if you're going to Jolly Roger Airport, fly to Delhi and do 1 or 2 nights in Delhi.
Yeah.
Then book your one-way super cheap ticket from Delhi to Holly Jolly Rogers Airport in India. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Boy, it's a weird one to end on. I feel like I should end with like a book on Tuesday. Just to give people like some encouragement.
Yeah.
There's just not.
Listen, if there was a great way to get discounts on
Yeah,
flights, people would be selling that and making a lot of money.
Sure.
But there's great ways to get those cheap flights. You just got to work at it. That's the truth of the matter. Or, shameless plug, work with a travel agent and they'll do the work for you.
I feel so bad for the families with kids in school, as well as the people who just like have trouble getting off work. Like they're low in seniority, and so the only week they can get off work is like a not great week to travel or something.
Yeah.
And I just feel so bad. It's like they're limited to like these couple weeks of the year to travel, and they call and they give me these like sob stories, and I feel for them, but I go to look at flights and it's just like, I'm sorry, these prices are so high during Christmas, during spring break,
Yep.
during July, and so it's like, they're like, yeah, but I've been hearing about these great deals. I'm like, yeah, if you're willing to go in early November or February, you can get those deals, but in July, it's just not there, So flexibility is helpful as far as where you want to go, how many layovers you're willing to, suffer through. So, yeah, contact your travel agent, sign up for Google Flights and Airfare Watchdog. Maybe sign up for a little Scott's Cheap Flights. Hang in there. We're all trying to figure this out. Appreciate the listen. Please, if you could. We see all these listeners to our podcast, which is awesome. Thank you.
Yes,
like
thank
from
you.
around
From
the world.
bottom of our heart, thank you.
And I see like a ton of you are on Apple Podcasts. There's others, so
Yeah, definitely.
no shame for others. Would you mind just giving us an honest review?
Yeah.
That's all we ask. It would mean so much. Just take a moment, please. Just like we haven't gotten a review in like 6 months, and we got these new listeners. We're just eager to hear from some. Like, are you out there? We know you
Yeah.
are. So
Let us know
please.
what we're doing right. Let us know what you want us to work on. Let us know if there's something that you want us to talk about that we've never talked about before.
I like that.
Yeah. And feedback. We want to make this show really great for you guys. We're having fun with it. We hope that you guys are having fun with it too. And we just want to make the best show possible.
How are you enjoying season 2, Will?
I'm liking it a lot. I think we have a lot of really great ideas coming up
Yeah.
that I'm really happy to execute and release. And yeah, I don't know. I think we're really coming into our own. How about yourself?
Good. I think I'm almost enjoying it more because we had a little summer break and now we're back in. But
Yeah.
I just want to say and to our own criticism. We listened to our audience, and our audience said, "Hey, could you keep the episode shorter?" And we're doing that, right?
We're trying really hard. Yeah,
you're seeing 20 and 30-minute episodes,
definitely.
And are we going to have any hour-long episodes this season? Maybe not.
Yeah, I hope not, but maybe
we should shoot ourselves in the foot if we need to. But
let's not jump the gun.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks everyone. Would appreciate the like and subscribe as well. Or I guess it's called follow now, right?
Yeah. Or if you want to send us an email, shoot us an email. I'll list the email account. You can send us an email. You can send us hate mail, fan mail, whatever you want to say. If you have something to say to us, we want to hear it. So reach out to us.
We're the travel agents. That's the end of our show. Make sure to comment and subscribe before you go. We're the travel agents. Thanks for listening. I'll book your trip.